Cristiano Ronaldo. The name alone stops people in their tracks. $600 million, mansions on 3 continents, a car collection worth £20 million, watch worth $18 million, and the woman beside him who has built her own empire. This is the football luxury lifestyle, and no story in this world is bigger than the one you are about to see. Because when you hear this name, you don't just hear about a football player anymore. You hear about a global icon. A man who turned discipline into dominance. A career built on repetition, obsession, and relentless hunger for perfection. But what does that actually look like when we break it down step by step? And how does one person build something this massive from nothing? Let's begin. Before we go any further, hit that subscribe button right now. It's right there in the bottom left corner, and tap the notification bell so you never miss a video. Like this video and share it with every football fan you know. And click the link in the description below. Grab your free World Cup football report. 7 facts about the World Cup you did not know. And while you're there, pick up the full World Cup Football Bible 2026, over 300 pages of World Cup history, records, legends, and 2026 preview for just $77, reduced from $140. The link is in the description. Don't miss it. Now, back to this incredible story. Now, back to Ronaldo. Space is the foundation upon which Cristiano Ronaldo's business is built. It is one of the most significant things in his entire life. Space that is not limited to a single nation, but rather space that is distributed throughout numerous nations, multiple ways of life, and multiple tiers of luxury living will be considered. Cristiano Ronaldo's residence in La Finca, Madrid, is reported to be worth more than €8 million and reflects the lifestyle of one of the most famous athletes in history. Featuring 7 bedrooms as well as both indoor and outdoor swimming pools, the property is located in one of Spain's most exclusive residential communities. But what makes this home truly remarkable is not just its luxury, it's the privacy it provides. For a global icon like Ronaldo, privacy is one of the rarest and most valuable possessions. Millions of people follow his every move, making a secure and secluded retreat essential. La Finca is known for offering exactly that. A protected environment where high-profile residents can escape the constant attention of the outside world. Every aspect of the home has been designed with comfort, security, and elegance in mind. Spacious living areas, modern architecture, and state-of-the-art amenities create an atmosphere that is both luxurious and functional. The indoor and outdoor pools, private recreational spaces, and expansive grounds allow Ronaldo and his family to enjoy a peaceful lifestyle away from cameras and crowds. The property is more than a showcase of wealth. It represents a place where one of football's greatest players could relax, recover, and spend time with loved ones. Behind its walls, the focus shifts from fame and competition to family, comfort, and personal well-being. For Cristiano Ronaldo, this house was never simply a home. It was a private sanctuary, a place where the demands of global stardom faded into the background. In a world where attention follows him everywhere, La Finca offered something truly priceless: peace, privacy, and the freedom to live life on his own terms. Then there is the Lisbon penthouse, an entire floor within one of the city's most prestigious buildings. Overlooking the Tagus River, it offers breathtaking panoramic views that stretch across the skyline and waterfront. But unlike the secluded estates that prioritize distance from the world, this property represents a different kind of luxury altogether. It is not about isolation, it is about elevation. A home that literally and symbolically stands above the city beneath it. From this vantage point, Lisbon becomes a living landscape. The changing colors of the river, the movement of the city, and the glow of the skyline at night create a view that few people will ever experience from their own home. Every window serves as a reminder of the privileged position the residence occupies. One of its most distinctive features is the private elevator. While it may seem like a simple convenience, it carries a deeper meaning. There are no shared hallways, crowded lobbies, or unwanted interruptions. Access is direct, seamless, and completely private. From arrival to entry, every step has been designed to preserve exclusivity and comfort. For Cristiano Ronaldo, a figure whose life has long been lived in the public eye, details like these matter. Privacy is not merely a preference, it is a necessity. The penthouse provides the ability to move freely while maintaining a sense of personal space that fame often makes difficult to achieve. The interiors reflect the same philosophy. Sophisticated design, spacious living areas, and floor-to-ceiling windows combine luxury with tranquility. Every element contributes to an atmosphere of refinement without excess. This is more than a prestigious address. It is a statement of achievement, a residence that rises above one of Europe's most beautiful cities, offering unmatched views, complete privacy, and a lifestyle reserved for only a select few. In many ways, It mirrors Ronaldo's own journey, rising above the competition and reaching heights that few could ever imagine. Then there is Madeira, Cristiano Ronaldo's island home, the place where everything began and in many ways, the place where a part of him will always belong. Unlike the luxurious estates in Madrid or the prestigious penthouse in Lisbon, this property is not defined by exclusivity, architecture, or status. Its true value cannot be measured in square meters or market prices. It is measured in memories. This is not a story about wealth. It is a story about origin. Before the trophies, before the records, before the private jets and global recognition, there was Madeira, a small island in the Atlantic Ocean. A young boy with extraordinary dreams. The surroundings were simple. The opportunities were limited. Yet the ambition was limitless. It was here that Ronaldo learned the values that would shape his future: discipline, sacrifice, resilience, and determination. Long before the world knew his name, Madeira knew him as a boy chasing a football across local streets and fields, imagining a future that few could see, but he never stopped believing in. Today, that same boy has built a life that stretches across continents. He has played for some of the biggest clubs in history, broken countless records, and become one of the most recognizable athletes on the planet. Yet despite all the success, Madeira remains significant, because success without roots can feel empty. Madeira serves as a reminder of where the journey started. It represents family, childhood, struggle, and the lessons learned before fame arrived. It is a connection to a simpler time, before the pressures of global stardom and the expectations that come with it. More than a home, Madeira is a symbol of identity. It is memory preserved in a place. It is grounding in a life that has reached extraordinary heights. And perhaps most importantly, it is proof that no matter how far a person travels, there is always value in remembering where they came from. For Cristiano Ronaldo, Madeira is not just an island, it is the foundation of everything that followed. Then there is Saudi Arabia, where Cristiano Ronaldo's arrival marked far more than a football transfer. As part of one of the most lucrative contracts in sporting history, his residency became a symbol of a much larger partnership, one that extends beyond football and into business, culture, and global influence. The residence itself is impressive, offering the level of comfort, privacy, and luxury expected by one of the world's most recognizable athletes. Yet its significance goes beyond architecture or location. It represents a new chapter in Ronaldo's journey, one that connects sport with international ambition on an unprecedented scale. By this point, Ronaldo's portfolio of homes stretches across multiple continents. Madrid represents privacy. Lisbon represents prestige. Madeira represents identity and origin. Saudi Arabia represents opportunity, influence, and the next phase of a remarkable career. Each residence serves a different purpose. Each tells a different story. Together, they form a map of a life lived on a truly global scale. Few individuals have experienced success at this level. Fewer still have built lives that span so many countries, cultures, and time zones. From Europe to the Middle East, Ronaldo's presence extends far beyond the football pitch, reflecting a career that has evolved into a worldwide brand. Yet this raises a deeper question. When someone belongs everywhere, where do they truly belong? When your life is divided between continents, private residences, training grounds, business ventures, and international commitments, where does life genuinely feel real? Is it the place where you currently live, the place where your family gathers, or the place where your story first began? Perhaps the answer is different for everyone. Perhaps home is not a single address but a collection of memories, relationships, and experiences carried from one place to another. Whatever the answer may be, one thing is certain. Cristiano Ronaldo's journey has never been confined to a single city or country. And while his homes tell the story of his success, the next chapter is told through something else entirely. Machines built for speed, precision, performance, and engineering excellence. Now, let's turn our attention to the extraordinary vehicles that reflect the same relentless pursuit of perfection that has defined Ronaldo's career. Let's talk about the entire collection of automobiles. In the world of elite performance and extreme luxury, there are collections, and then there are statements that go far beyond the idea of ownership. What belongs to Cristiano Ronaldo is not simply a garage filled with automobiles. It is a carefully constructed narrative of power, precision, identity, and time itself expressed through machines, design, and status symbols that exist at the very edge of human engineering. At first glance, it appears to be a collection of the most desirable automobiles ever built. But that description is too simple. What surrounds Cristiano Ronaldo is not just a group of cars. It is a physical translation of ambition turned into material form. Every vehicle reflects a different philosophy of speed, comfort, exclusivity, or control. Together, they form something closer to an evolving exhibition than a traditional garage. Among these machines, The Bugatti Chiron stands as one of the clearest symbols of mechanical extremity. It is not just about velocity, it is about the discipline required to control overwhelming power. The Chiron represents the idea that speed without control is meaningless. It is engineered for a small group of individuals who do not simply want to go fast, but want to understand what it means to command something that pushes against the limits of physics itself. In Ronaldo's world, this car is not stored as a trophy. It is used, experienced, and driven, which transforms it from a display object into a lived instrument of performance. There is a key distinction here. Many ultra-luxury vehicles are preserved in silence, kept under controlled lighting, treated almost like museum artifacts. But the idea that emerges from Ronaldo's collection is different. These machines are not meant to remain frozen. They are meant to breathe, to move, and to be part of an active lifestyle where motion is constant and identity is expressed through action. A Bugatti Chiron sitting still is impressive. A Bugatti Chiron in motion becomes a statement of intent. Then there is the presence of Rolls-Royce Cullinan models in multiple configurations and colors. The choice to own variations of the same ultra-luxury SUV is not redundancy. It is expression through differentiation. Each version becomes a reflection of mood, purpose, or setting. One configuration may represent formal arrival, another personal travel, another private comfort without attention. In this sense, the Cullinan becomes less of a vehicle and more of a flexible identity platform. This is where luxury shifts into something more complex than material wealth. It becomes a language. The decision to own multiple customized versions of a single model reflects a deeper idea, that one identity is not always enough for different contexts. Comfort, privacy, presence, and prestige are not static. They change depending on environment, moment, and intention. In Ronaldo's case, this flexibility aligns with a life that moves between stadiums, cities, business environments, and private spaces at a global scale. The Ferrari Monza SP1 adds an entirely different layer to this narrative. It is not simply rare, it is invitation only, part of an extremely limited production philosophy that emphasizes exclusivity over accessibility. This is not a car you buy in the traditional sense. It is a car you are chosen for. Only a small number exist, and ownership signals entry into a closed circle where performance, heritage, and recognition intersect. The Monza SP1 represents something Ferrari has always understood deeply. Scarcity increases meaning. In a world where almost anything can be purchased given enough resources, true exclusivity is no longer about price. It is about permission. For Ronaldo, a vehicle like this is less about transportation and more about belonging to a tier of recognition that is defined by heritage brands and their most selective creations. Then comes the Lamborghini Aventador SVJ, a machine that expresses aggression in its purest engineered form, where the Rolls-Royce line represents silence and comfort, and Bugatti represents controlled extremity. Lamborghini represents emotional intensity. The SVJ is about acceleration that feels immediate, steering that responds without hesitation, and a driving experience that prioritizes adrenaline above refinement. It is not designed for calmness. It is designed for reaction. It is the mechanical equivalent of instinct, fast, loud, sharp, and unapologetic. In Ronaldo's collection, it serves as contrast. Without contrast, luxury becomes monotone. With contrast, it becomes dynamic. The SVJ is the reminder that speed is not always about elegance. Sometimes it is about raw engagement with the road. When viewed together, these vehicles begin to form a pattern. The Bugatti represents control over extreme performance. The Rolls-Royce represents adaptive luxury and identity. The Ferrari represents exclusivity and recognition. The Lamborghini represents pure emotional speed. Each one occupies a different dimension of automotive experience, yet all of them converge in a single lifestyle ecosystem. The estimated combined value of such a collection, when accounting for hypercars, custom builds, limited editions, and bespoke luxury SUVs, reaches into the tens of millions of pounds, but even that figure is incomplete. It does not capture the constant evolution of the collection, the ongoing additions, upgrades, and replacements that occur as new models are released and older ones are redefined as modern classics. However, the deeper question is not about value, it is about necessity. When someone already has access to some of the fastest, rarest, and most expensive machines in the world, what exactly is being added with each new acquisition? The answer is not more speed. At a certain point, acceleration numbers stop being meaningful in daily life. Most hypercars already exceed what can be used on public roads. So the difference is not functional, it is conceptual. Each new addition represents a shift in identity, not capability. In this context, the collection stops being about transportation entirely. It becomes about emotional architecture. Each car represents a different version of self-expression, controlled dominance, silent arrival, exclusive belonging, or raw excitement. The garage becomes a physical map of personality variations, and yet even this is only part of the picture. Because alongside automobiles, there are watches, jewelry, and timepieces, objects that do not move through space, but through perception. If cars represent motion and power, watches represent something more subtle, control over time itself. In Ronaldo's case, timepieces are not accessories, they are symbolic instruments. They sit on the wrist as constant reminders that time is not just passing, it is being measured, owned, and displayed. Luxury watches from the highest tier of horology function almost like miniature engineering projects. They combine mechanical precision with artistic design, often requiring hundreds or thousands of hours of craftsmanship. In this sense, they mirror the same philosophy found in hypercars, perfection achieved through obsessive detail. Jewelry adds another layer, less about mechanics, more about visibility. Where watches are structured around function and tradition, jewelry is more direct in its symbolism. It is immediate recognition. It reflects status, achievement, and personal branding without needing explanation. When combined, automobiles, watches, jewelry, the entire system begins to resemble something larger than luxury consumption. It becomes a coordinated expression of presence. Cars control movement, watches control time, jewelry controls perception. Together, they define how an individual occupies space in the world. For Cristiano Ronaldo, whose life is already defined by global visibility, athletic achievement, and cultural influence, these elements do not function as decoration. They function as reinforcement. They extend the identity that already exists on the field into every other dimension of life. But there is still a deeper layer beneath all of this. Because once everything is acquired, the fastest cars, the rarest editions, the most exclusive invitations, the most recognized timepieces, the question inevitably changes. It is no longer about acquisition, it becomes about impact. What does all of it mean when nothing is left to compete for in the same category? At that point, the collection stops being about objects and becomes about perception and time. It is no longer about what is owned, but about what is represented. Speed becomes reputation, luxury becomes memory, exclusivity becomes narrative. This is why in the world surrounding Ronaldo, even stillness feels intentional, even silence feels designed, even time feels visible, structured, and valuable. The cars are not just driven, they are staged moments of presence. The watches are not just worn, they are constant declarations of precision. The jewelry is not just displayed, it is part of identity visibility in a world where recognition is constant. And so the collection cannot be understood as a list of machines or accessories. It must be understood as a system of meaning built around one central idea: control over every dimension of experience that can be controlled. Speed is controlled through engineering. Time is controlled through measurement. Perception is controlled through presentation. What remains is not excess. It is orchestration. In that sense, the true missing piece in such a collection is not another car, another watch, or another jewel. It is not something that can be purchased at all. It is the relationship between all of them, the way they define a life that is already operating at the maximum visible edge of human performance, where even motion becomes identity, and even luxury becomes language. Jewelry and timepieces as well. A billionaire watch by Jacob & Company, weighing 260 carats of diamonds and costing $18 million, was worn on social media and received 40 million likes in just 48 hours. This watch is more than simply a timepiece. This is a moment that affects the entire world, an item that makes a statement and immediately grabs people's attention. The initials of Frank Mueller, his number, and his identity are all part of the Vanguard custom. Individualization has been elevated to the level of luxury, a design that is unique to him and no one else. There are multiple Rolex Daytonas. Legacy is represented by these. To be precise, the past, as a reminder that even in the most luxurious of settings, tradition is still important. A complete assortment of watches, more than 25 million pounds in total. On the other hand, here is the more profound question. When your entire life is already controlled by training, performance, timetables, recovery, and discipline, what does time actually mean anymore? Does it have the ability to control you, or do you have the ability to control it? We are now moving into something that is more human. This is Georgina Rodriguez. From working as a shop clerk at Gucci to having 50 million followers on Instagram, the change from everyday living to recognition on a worldwide scale is taking place here. From working in retail to being a public figure acknowledged all over the world, she has her own documentary on Netflix. Because of this, her life is no longer considered private. It has been documented. Research is being done on it. It has millions of people following it. It is the face of Dior. It is a representation of her place in the fashion culture of the world. 20 to 30 million euros in her own personal net worth, which she has accumulated all by herself. Within the context of a shared world of celebrity, this is being independent. Her stylish preferences have spread all across the world. 1 Valentino, Dolce & Gabbana designs. There is a headline for every single outfit. Every appearance develops into material that is enjoyed all around the world. Every vacation on a yacht is a successful content machine. Each and every red carpet is an occasion. She was given the opportunity by Ronaldo, upon what she constructed it. The entire thing is Gina. The question that really matters, however, is whether or not you will continue to be the owner of your identity when your entire life is made public. On the other hand, does the world gradually begin to own it for you? This brings us to the actual movement itself. From the beginning of his career to the end, he used his Gulfstream G200, which had a special interior and cost $20 million. This is the pinnacle of private flying at its most elite level. Stop traveling. The movement, however, was under control. Super yachts in the Mediterranean region that are 50 meters or longer. Floating luxury spaces that are meant to provide comfort and seclusion throughout. A personal chef. 12 people make up the crew. To Mykonos. We are the Maldives. In New York. It is Paris. The narrative of Ronaldo's travel journal is reminiscent of the most exclusive magazine in the world. However, there is something more profound to consider. When travel becomes this simple, this private, and this controlled, does the concept of distance still hold any significance? On the other hand, does the planet feel too small? Currently, we are moving into something that is even more significant, something that extends beyond the realms of lifestyle, luxury, and even fame. Building an empire and entering the business world are our next steps. The CR7 brand is no longer just an extension of a footballer's identity. It has evolved into a global commercial ecosystem that operates across hospitality, fashion, real estate, and lifestyle industries. What began as a personal brand associated with performance on the pitch has gradually expanded into something far more structured. A multinational identity built around influence, recognition, and market reach. One of the clearest expressions of this transformation is the Pastana CR7 hotel chain. Located in cities such as Lisbon, Madrid, New York, and Madeira, these hotels are not simply properties that carry a famous name. They are fully branded environments built around a single concept: lifestyle as identity. Each hotel is designed to reflect a curated version of modern luxury influenced by Cristiano Ronaldo, blending contemporary design, youth culture, and premium hospitality. For Cristiano Ronaldo, this is not just endorsement work. It is brand architecture. The CR7 name is embedded into the physical spaces themselves, meaning guests are not only staying in hotels, they are entering a branded experience shaped by the personality and global image of one individual. Across Lisbon or New York, the concept remains consistent. Sleek design, modern aesthetics, and a lifestyle associated with discipline, success, and global recognition. This consistency across continents is what transforms CR7 from a logo into a system. It is not limited to one market or one audience. Instead, it operates as a unified identity distributed across multiple regions. Whether in Madeira or Madrid, the message is the same. This is a lifestyle associated with elite performance and international ambition. Beyond hospitality, one of the most significant pillars of Ronaldo's global influence is his long-standing partnership with Nike. This collaboration is widely considered one of the most successful athlete-brand relationships in modern sports history. It is not a short-term sponsorship deal, but a long-term alignment between performance excellence and commercial branding. At its core, the Nike partnership reflects a shared narrative: elite athletic performance translated into global consumer identity. Every product line, campaign, and endorsement reinforces the image of Ronaldo not just as an athlete, but as a worldwide symbol of discipline, competitiveness, and achievement. In commercial terms, this partnership connects sport, marketing, and cultural influence at the highest level. Alongside hospitality and sports branding, real estate plays a major role in the CR7 ecosystem. Properties spanning multiple continents form part of a broader financial and strategic structure. These are not random luxury purchases, but carefully distributed assets that reflect global mobility and long-term wealth planning. Owning property in different regions allows for both financial diversification and lifestyle flexibility. It ensures presence across key international hubs, while also reinforcing the idea of a life that is not confined to one geography. For Cristiano Ronaldo, real estate is not just investment. It is infrastructure for a global lifestyle. In addition to this, the expansion into fashion, fitness, and lifestyle branding further strengthens the CR7 identity. Clothing lines, fragrance collections, and fitness-related products extend the brand into everyday consumer behavior. These categories are important because they move the brand beyond elite or inaccessible luxury and into daily use. They allow the CR7 identity to exist not only in hotels or stadiums, but also in wardrobes, gyms, and personal routines. Technology and digital influence also play a role, particularly through social media platforms, where Ronaldo remains one of the most followed individuals in the world. His online presence acts as a distribution engine for the CR7 brand. Every post, endorsement, or campaign reaches hundreds of millions of users instantly, turning personal visibility into commercial power. When all of these elements are combined, hospitality, sports partnerships, real estate, fashion, and digital reach, the structure begins to resemble something larger than a personal brand. It becomes a global enterprise built around a single name, yet operating across multiple industries simultaneously. This is why financial commentary often references figures such as those published by Forbes, which suggests that Cristiano Ronaldo is either approaching billionaire status or may already have entered it, depending on valuation models. Regardless of the exact number, the implication is clear. His influence is no longer measured purely in sporting terms. At this level, the conversation shifts from football achievements to economic scale. The question is no longer how many goals are scored or trophies are won, but how much value is generated across global markets. Brand endorsements, equity in businesses, property holdings, and licensing agreements all contribute to a financial footprint that extends far beyond sport. What emerges is a figure who operates simultaneously in multiple domains. In football, he is an athlete. In business, he is a brand owner and investor. In culture, he is a symbol of ambition and success. These roles overlap and reinforce each other, creating a feedback loop where visibility increases value and value increases visibility. Ultimately, the CR7 brand demonstrates how modern influence works at the highest level. It is not built on a single product or industry, but on integration across many sectors. It is not confined to one country or audience, but distributed globally. And it is not static, but continuously expanding through partnerships, investments, and cultural presence. In this sense, the legacy of Cristiano Ronaldo is no longer limited to sport alone. It is embedded in hospitality spaces, global marketing systems, and investment structures that operate independently yet remain connected through a single identity. At that point, the meaning of success changes. It is no longer just about individual performance, but about building something that continues to operate, grow, and influence even when the original arena, football, is only one part of a much larger system. We are now moving on to something that is present in every public picture, every appearance, and every moment that he is observed by the world: stylishness and fashion. When it comes to the field, Ronaldo is the most watched player on the planet. Each and every movement is scrutinized. Each and every performance is seen all around the world. On the other hand, he is just as deliberate, just as controlled, and just as exact when he is not playing the game. Tailoring for specific needs. Suits designed by designers. Fragrances that claim his name as the creator. There is no randomness in this fashion. The identification in question is organized. There is a deliberate effort put into each and every clothing, appearance, and detail. Mainly due to the fact that in today's celebrity culture, performance is no longer limited to the playing field. Another aspect of performance is appearance, presence, image. In the world of sports, Ronaldo is the person who comprehends this concept the best. His individual approach has had an impact on a whole generation of football players who are now aware that success does not come to an end immediately once the game is over. The process continues through the use of identity, lifestyle, and branding. A kind of professionalism that is present around the clock has been produced by him, not only as a sports person, but also as a prominent character on a global scale. Consequently, this brings us to the conclusion of the analysis of everything that we have observed. Everything is brought together at this point. A duty that comes with being viewed on a worldwide scale. The stress that comes with preserving their brilliance. This is the expectation that one will never slow down. As a result, the final question is a bit straightforward. Could you imagine what it would be like to be free if you had all that Cristiano Ronaldo has? To put it another way, would it feel like taking on responsibility at the highest possible level? Football is no longer the only thing that matters in Cristiano Ronaldo's personal life. There is a legacy involved, building something that endures beyond the passage of time, beyond the realm of sports, and beyond fame itself is the goal. An event that continues for a considerable amount of time after the last whistle, long after the final match, and long after the final goal has been scored. Additionally, regardless of whether you admire him, study him, or simply view him from a distance, there is one fact that cannot be denied in any way. This is not merely a happy ending. The result is an obsession that has become an empire. Discipline led to the creation of a legacy. In addition, aspiration gave way to actuality. And that is the extraordinary world of Ronaldo, one of the most remarkable luxury lifestyles in football history. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button right now. Subscribe to Football Luxury Lifestyle for more incredible content. And make sure the notification bell is on so you never miss a video. Share this with every football fan you know. And most importantly, click the link in the description right now. Get your free World Cup football report, 7 facts about the World Cup you did not know, absolutely free. And grab the full World Cup Football Bible 2026, over 300 pages for just $77. The link is right there in the description. See you in the next one, here on Football Luxury Lifestyle, where football meets fame, fortune, and fashion